Good morning. This is a new concept to be utilized by the school systems in America to eliminate the need for books. Books? Yes, I said books. Because books are not being read by the students at all. Billions of dollars are spent every year by the students' parents to buy the books, but the books are not being read. And the students then, in reading on a worldwide basis of 32 schools that were tested around the world, the American students were 28th in reading. So reading's the last thing they want to do. But the lesson needs to be taught. So now what we're going to do is utilize the thing we got here called professional tutorial. 16 lessons there are in the satellite from the hub. These 16 lessons be giving out to the students on a DVD, the network, the CD, or some means to give the student at the beginning of each semester all of the lessons. And there they are, 16 lessons there. And then there's a little final exam, which will just be one lesson given to them at the end of the semester. It'll be the DVD then will be given to each student, and the information then for the college will be held at the hub, and the instructor can come down and look at the hub and see what each student does each week. He doesn't pass out papers, he doesn't collect papers, he doesn't grade papers. He grades the hub. The students turn the information into the hub, and each student is connected to the network. And that way, all of the information given to the students and all the information from the students is at the hub, and the hub is controlled then by the instructor.
What are you doing?
Professional tutorials are very easily explained. It's extremely simple, but over the past 20 years of my life in a classroom, I can see how this works perfectly. This derivation will tell you the first thing you do is SPC, any college, any classroom, any high school, any grade school can create the 16 lessons for each student. The student will get all 16 lessons at the beginning of the semester. Each student will make each lesson on the DVD each week. He will collect the DVD and the lesson will be on it, and he'll put his lesson back on a read-write DVD to give to the hub. The students will then send the weekly lessons to the hub timely. The instructor will grade the lessons each week and give back the DVD, or from the hub he can get it back to the student's computer and they can download their DVD from the computer, from their desk computer. Each student will correct his own lessons each week as the instructor gives the information corrections to the student's paper, you might say. And the student will look at it, correct it, and they'll put it back on in the correct form on his DVD or on the network. Each student will keep abreast all classes each week. In other words, if you're tardy and you don't hand something in that week, the professor then will know it immediately. And then when you hand it in, you automatically get 5 points off next week. The instructor will grade the work, return to the hub, and the student gets it back. This will continue for the full 16 weeks. Each week is the same. There's no redundancy, jerking around or change your mind or whatever. Everything is the same because it's structured. Professional tutorials is a structured mechanism utilized to create a smooth flow of information from the instructor to the student, and then information from the student back to the instructor. Very structured, very timely, and it's an essential way to go to the 22nd century. We're in the 21st century now, I guess. We're going to go to the 22nd century. Near the end of the semester, the instructor will give a tentative semi-stressor grade. The student will look at the grade and see if he needs to take the final exam or not. If he's at 90%, he doesn't take the final exam because he's good enough already. And if he does need to take the final exam, the F will then be 70 and an A will be 90. Instructors grade the student's work, and they give the grade and sign the deed book and deed book page number. Oh God, real estate. Sign the grade book, and then you'll be done for that semester and it'll be turned into the principal. Now let's look at what one lesson will be. We'll just call this lesson number 1, which is lesson number 1 in our semester this semester. Lesson number 1 starts out with each and every instruction to perform that drawing of that piece in lesson number 1. Lesson number 1 here, all of these instructions then go to making that lesson number 1. And in this case, I'm teaching AutoCAD. This semester is going to be AutoCAD Professional INVENTIR. We're doing the INVENTIR module this semester. And this is lesson number 1 of the INVENTIR module. And these are all the instructions. You can see each one of these commands does a particular piece of action to INVENTIR, and INVENTIR responds by drawing the line or curve or circle or whatever. And each one of these items here now will produce that part. And when that part's finished, okay, that will be the end of lesson number 1. I've made these lessons here, these drawings myself. I go through them 2 or 3, 4 times each night to get it prepared for each one of the lessons through 16. I do them over and over and over again. This lesson here was completed the first time 5 minutes, 35 minutes and 38 seconds. The second time I did it was 3 minutes and 38 seconds. So, and the fourth time was 3 minutes and 45 seconds. Well, anyhow, that's the way you do the lessons. I followed each and every one of these instructions. I followed these all the way down to the bottom, and that's the time limit it took to make the lesson. The student gets 1 hour. He can make that lesson in 1 hour, and then the next time he'll make that same lesson in a half an hour. So that's where we have that part of the structure that we're going to have for this semester. And this is to be the personalized tutorial structured method of solving problems without the book. Now that we have completed the drawing of the project, we see that the clamp bracket this is for the legs of a conveyor system. The legs come down and set on the floor, and the bolt hole here then holds that leg from shifting. There, that bolt hole. The bolts are in the concrete. You slide that over the bolt and put your nut on it, and it holds that leg steady. Then you come along and put the conveyor section there, just slide it down in there, and away you go. You can see it's over-dimensioned, as everybody would tell you. Oh my God, he's got a dozen dimensions on there. Gee whiz. Well, let me tell you, the last 10 years I've been working with machine shops and sheet metal shops. And I talked to a fellow at AutoCAD, and he said there was $3 billion worth of these little brackets and whatever that went in the trash bin. They were made wrong. They were drawn wrong, made wrong. Okay? The thing of it is, there wasn't a proper dimension, and a guy estimated or guessed it. We got 16 bits in the computer. These decimal places here are all 3 bits. We got 16 bits in the computer, decimal places that we can play with. The craftsman out on the floor, he's only got a 4-function calculator. And he can't do as good a job as we can. Not expected to. What we want to have now is a person. See, first thing you have the guy draw it up. Then he'll check it. Then you have another guy, a craftsman locally. He'll check it. Then you'll have the inspector. He'll check it. And you'll have the supervisor. He'll check it. The steward sometimes checks them. And everybody gets done checking with this one part. And it goes in the stockroom. And he'll check it. And that way, everybody will have a dimension. When he picks it up and holds it in his hand, the dimension will be the one he's looking for. It's right there on the drawing. It's as plain as simple as cake. So if you're not going to do it this way, and not going to do it my way, then like A.J. Foyt, my way or the highway, Jack. So this way will eliminate every possibility of having a mistake, which we got to eliminate in America because we're wasting too much time, too much money, and too much material making mistakes every day. Just to re-emphasize here, we can see that I've dimensioned this hole so it can't be a mistake. The craftsman can measure this way on the hole, okay, from that corner. The guy can measure this way from that corner, on that hole, from that corner, and there's the dimensions that's possible for it to be. He reads those off, and he says, "Hey, Jack, hole's good to go. Drill it." So this is going to be about the end. But I want to say that we need to do things with a little bit more honesty and dexterity in our school system in order to make the students come out, can read and write mathematics and make drawings. And using INVENTIR 2012, then we see that this is a good mechanism that allows each student to make a structure with the given instructions. And all the instructions are the same. I've got another video that makes this part, and you can watch it on YouTube.